What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JusticeXFalls back in here with another video. We're checking out the Silent Hill 2 hands-on preview. Let's get it.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent
Looks beautiful.
Hill.
Ever since the release of the Resident Evil 2 remake, developers have returned to the well en masse to give their classic games a new lease of life, more often than not with mixed results. From what I've seen so far, the upcoming Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't come close to hitting the heights of Resident Evil 2, a blueprint for how a great remake is made, but it certainly feels like developer Bloober team has made a lot of the right decisions when building on the survival horror classic's undeniable legacy, even if at times it feels a little too safe.
I mean, safe is okay, because you're making this game for who? The fans. So why safe is fine. I played
the opening 3 hours of Silent Hill 2, and it was immediately apparent from the off that the remake gracefully captures all the important elements. An oppressive tone and straightforward game mechanics, even when the task itself is being obtuse. As with any Silent Hill game, atmosphere is king, and Silent Hill 2 immediately and consistently puts you in a state of unease. A thick fog surrounds the town just like in the original, but now benefits from modern lighting and volume, thanks to today's technical improvements. The streets are now filled with a new level of detail, shops are explorable, and strange sounds, cries, and groans are dynamically lurking around every corner.
Oh, hell no. I can hear that.
I can imagine it would have been incredibly tempting to layer music into the Silent Hill 2 remake, bringing the scares more in line with contemporary horror hits. But its slavish resistance is commendable, as the diegetic sounds of Silent Hill are where the game really sings, or rather drones. Every room in the Woodside apartments creates its own version of uneasy tension, subtly assaulting you with an oppressive, unearthly soundscape of pulses and organic audio.
Type shit.
From the moment that protagonist James enters Silent Hill, the onslaught of bad vibes is present, and it never lets up for a second. Often fear is driven by anticipation, but Silent Hill 2 is all anticipation, with the sounds of the lying figures and co being ever present. In some ways, it's a difficult state of mind to be locked into.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that was a little scary.
It's fair to say that Silent Hill 2 has stepped up its visual and audio game, but that's to be expected for a 2024 release. The bigger and perhaps more impactful change is perspective, with Silent Hill 2 adopting the trusty over-the-shoulder playstyle that's become a staple of the genre. What could have once been considered sacrilege for the series now serves the gameplay well, helping the unearthly combat encounters feel surprisingly familiar. Like the original, James's arsenal is limited, with the only available weapons in the section that I played being a handgun and his trusty wooden plank.
Whack, whack, whack.
Combat is certainly light and rudimentary, but Silent Hill 2 was never about that. It's serviceable in a way that complements the character's ability, although I imagine it would have been extremely tempting for Bloober team to strap James up Rambo style, although it would have been a disservice to the character and the story it's telling.
Yeah, because a lot of people complained about that when the game was first revealed, like, yo, why is the combat so janky? This guy's not a soldier, this is a regular man. This is not Chris Redfield. This is not Leon Kennedy. This is not even Ethan, because Ethan trained with Chris Redfield. That's how he knew how to fight a little bit. This is a regular man with mental health issues that manifest into the real fucking world. Well, into this town. Because when you go into the town, it manifests your thoughts. So, come on now.
That's not.
If you're gonna critique it, know why the mechanic is there first before you critique it. Not talking about him, not talking about the guy doing the video, but I've heard, like, when the game got revealed and I was doing the stream, people was talking about that.
Say that James doesn't have a new move in his locker though. Silent Hill 2 implements a new dodge mechanic, allowing James to quickly dart out of the way of an enemy's projectile vomit or pyramid head swinging blade. It's a simple, quick shuffle, not a Dark Souls-like forward roll, but it's a tool that helped me quickly establish a swing, dodge rhythm before the lying figures threw up their guts all over me. Perhaps the biggest compliment I could give is that it's a move that feels like it always should have been in Silent Hill 2. From what I've seen so far,
the iframes on that is beastie.
And I visited all the locations I expected to in the first few hours. The opening jaunt through the streets of Silent Hill is expanded though, tasking you to solve a puzzle involving a jukebox. and forcing you to visit several of the town's locations. Along the way, there's plenty to examine further and marvel at the detail layered into this once sparse location. While purists may scoff at this addition, I feel like it's a smart move that encourages you to spend a little more time roaming in the iconic foggy streets. And it's certainly a welcome addition before you spend a large portion of the game funneled down dark hallways in a largely linear path. Fans of the original will be happy to hear that the remake doesn't hold back with its returning puzzles. Like the original, the remake scales clues based on your difficulty level. But even on the normal difficulty setting, I found some puzzles momentary head scratchers that encouraged me to truly absorb my surroundings, especially after hard switching from my kill everything that moves headspace. Fans of the 2001 classic and the Resident Evil series know exactly what kind of thing to expect, using environmental clues to solve riddles and combinations. But it felt like there was a little less signposting in Silent Hill 2 than in its peers. It's hard for me to quantify this, but all I can say is that my usual urge to brute force the puzzles was quickly replaced by a wish to legitimately solve them. Hopefully that speaks to the puzzle's design and not the pressures of the PlayStation environment. Bloober Team's decision making when rebuilding this classic has been clever, but it's not perfect. The dialogue and performances still feel a little too campy and silly for my taste, often taking me out of the super serious tone.
No.
I
You
mean,
shouldn't be here.
Unlike Resident Evil, where
see with that, like, okay, they could have upgraded it, but being that Bloober Team was trying to stick to, oh no, being that Bloober Team was trying to stick to the plan. I thought my audio went out. Being that Bloober Team was trying to stick to the plan, they left the campiness in there. Even with this remake, the Resident Evil, I know he's about to give it a compliment, but it still had that 90s janky, campy voice acting in it.
the campy nature is a big part of the vibe, Silent Hill in 2024 requires a subtle touch to complement the same masterful approach in atmosphere and sound design. Purists may celebrate its faithful remaking of the original lines, but I felt like there was an opportunity here for some subtle tweaks. I only got a small taste of the dialogue though, and Silent Hill 2 isn't exactly known for long conversations, so perhaps it's not any kind of deal breaker.
You didn't love Mary anyway.
It's not.
What? Hey,
It's not.
wait!
Another irksome inclusion is the logical but slightly tedious activity of opening countless kitchen cupboards and drawers to collect handgun ammo and healing items, similar in a way to modern games like The Last of Us. It makes sense on paper, organically placing your collectible items in realistic locations, but I can't help feel like it took me out of the atmosphere, altering my thought process from fear to loot every time I entered a new room. Maybe it says more about me than the game, but several times after entering the room, I was jumped on by a hidden mannequin because I had prioritized scouring for pickups instead of enemies.
That's the point. That's the point.
Disappointingly, from what I've seen so far of Silent Hill 2, it doesn't appear to incorporate my favorite feature the best remakes tend to have: taking your expectations based on what you know about the original and subverting them. 2002's Resident Evil Remake, which played around with the dogs jumping through the window jump scare that all fans expected, is the perfect example of how this can be expertly crafted. The approach allows for tension of a fake out and the creative space to drop new scares in where you least expect it. The Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't appear to have any real moments like that, and ultimately, no real big swings that change the landscape for hardcore fans. At least not what I saw in the opening 3 hours. As
that's
a remake,
disgusting.
Silent Hill 2 falls more in line with Bluepoint's faithful Shadow of the Colossus rather than Capcom's rejuvenated Resident Evil 2. It substitutes bold new swings for a slavish dedication to the original, which by no means is a bad thing, just not the radical steps some might expect. Silent Hill 2 certainly needed a fresh coat of paint and a tune of the engine, and Bloober Team has provided that in spades. But everything else is an extremely faithful reimagining that mostly resists the urge to alter the successful formula of a stone cold classic. And if you like that video and you want to find out more about Silent Hill 2,
Why is he saying that like it's a bad thing that they're sticking to the code, like they're sticking to the source? Like, I don't know. I hope they don't have him review the game. No disrespect to this guy, whatever his name is, Dale. What's his name? Dale Driver. I hope they don't have him review the fucking game, because he just don't get it. Have somebody that's actually a fan of the games, because they made this game for the fans. They didn't make it for, you know what I'm saying? It's a modern remake of a classic game. So who are they trying to appeal to? The fans. More than anybody. It is millions of that. So they don't really have to appeal. They don't have to really oblige the main character. I watched a chat. There's this guy, I forget his name. I would shout out his name if I remember. He does Silent Hill content, and he has so far been pleased with what he's seeing in the game. So I would ask people like that, even if he shitted on it, I would trust his word before I trust somebody like this guy's word, even though this guy's probably more decorated as a journalist or whatever. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm definitely copping this. I played the short message. That was a very intense game. This is going to be equally as intense, and I can't wait to play it. All right, so y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. So y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out. One.